And now, the starting lineup for the Keeping It Real show from Oak Point, Texas. It's the Tokyo Tex, the Kamikaze Cowboy, the Sukiyaki Jockey, the MOT, the Man of Trail, Tim Kimura. And from the home of the San Antonio Spurs, the captain of the team, the man with the dream, the man behind the wheel for Keeping It Real, Brad Jewett.
Hello, everybody. Let us know where you're tuning in from tonight. I'm Brad Jewett.
I'm Tim, the Trail Man.
Keeping it real.
And now, Brad and Tim.
And now, the starting lineups for the Keeping It Real show from Oak Point, Texas. The Kamikaze Cowboy, the Tokyo Tex, the Sukiyaki Jockey, the MOT, the Man of Trail, Tim Camara. And now, from the home of the San Antonio Spurs, the captain of the team, the man with the dream, the man behind the wheel, at Keeping It Real, Brad Jewett. Woo! Time to pull the shades, Timmy.
Woo!
Time to get down to business. We got a business type show with some great people tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Keeping It Real show. This is our 30th 3-0 show. Holy smokes, can you believe it? A month has gone by really fast.
Can you show me your shirt?
Yeah, I was showing it to camera's always backwards. Keeping it real. I don't know. This is my left arm. I wish it was my right arm because my bicep.
Can I show you my shirt?
Yeah, show us a wise one. Yoda. I love it.
I love that shirt too.
It's awesome.
What do you think? Let's bring them on in.
Yeah, so we got Jim and Deanna Searles going to be joining us here very, very, very quickly. But again, we want to thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We do want to touch that we will have on Friday, we have Lainey DeBoer and Valerie Kearns coming in for some hunt seat equitation. Going to tell us also a little bit about the new working hunter under saddle class that's going to be coming in as well to our horse shows, which hopefully happen very soon, come June. And then, of course, on Thursday, is Type the Topic Thursday. We have a special guest, new sponsor as well, from the Arizona Quarter Horse Association. Mr. Doug Hulls is going to be joining us for a quick little 10, 15-minute phone call to talk about their new pieces to their horse show series that they're going to be doing. And then after the break, we'll have Unishippers coming on talking a little bit more about what they bring to the table. So thank you, sponsors, for allowing us to do what we love to do right here in the evenings.
How about
but it's our evening job.
How about our friends Cleve and Steve? I want to thank them again for coming on Monday.
Yeah, that show has gone on and on and on. It's awesome in 2 days. The viewership that's built through our YouTube page. If you haven't gone to our YouTube page, go to the Keeping It Real show, the Keeping It Real show YouTube page. Subscribe to it so you can, if you miss anything, you'll get notified when a new show is popped up. So make sure you go to the Keeping It Real show. It's the Keeping It Real show, KEEPING, because there's Keeping It Real, and there's other names out there that are very similar, but the Keeping It Real show YouTube page.
How about Team Arizona?
Let's bring them. Bring them. Kona, come on. There they are, Team Arizona.
Hi.
Jim and Deanna Searles.
Good evening.
Y'all look awesome tonight.
Hi, Brad. Hi, Tim.
Hi. Good evening.
Jim, you do have a little pepper over your mouth there. It's not all salt, Deanna. There's some pepper.
It's a little
looking good.
Pepper there.
Looking good, man. Looking good.
Yeah.
Try to look as distinguished as you are, Brad. I mean, I've been watching this, and I'm like, if I can look that good, and
yeah,
now that I'm on camera, I think I need to shave it.
Really distinguished with these braces on my teeth.
You're looking young.
Oh, thank you. That is the goal, man. Excuse me, Deanna, not man.
That's okay. That's okay.
That is the goal. Tim, let's go, buddy.
So, yeah, since you're talking about young, Deanna, let you start. Can you tell us a little bit about your childhood and how you grew up, and take us till you moved to Arizona?
Well, my parents were horse trainers, so I've grown up in it since the beginning. Don and Barbara Dunham, and mom now is Liska. We moved from Southern California up to Oregon, and just started showing horses there. And graduated high school in '85, and went to New York for a year. I was a nanny. Came home, went to a horse show with my mom, and Don Avila asked me if I wasn't doing anything. And I'm like, well, I don't have plans at the moment. So I started working for him. Wow. And then I worked for him for about 2 years, I guess. And I saw Casey Hinton at a horse show, and I loved his horses. So I called him up and asked him for a job, and came down to Arizona. That's kind of that in a nutshell. That's the fast version of it. But I have lots of details in between.
We have the real life Fran Drescher in the house right here, a nanny in New York.
Yeah, I
awesome.
I loved it.
That should have been like a trivia question. That's awesome. I had no idea you were a nanny. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was a nanny a year, took care of 2 kids. Yeah, it was fun. Loved the city. Loved it. Lived out in the country a little bit. And it was, we lived on like 2.5 acres, and it was in Westchester County. It was awesome. Bedford Hills is where I lived.
Nice.
How about a couple of the shows that you used to show at back on the West Coast?
Let's see, the Cow Palace, Santa Barbara. It was a show, and it had in the middle of it, it had the grass in the very center. If you ask Charlie Cole, he'd know what that was.
Del Mar. Del Mar.
Oh, Del
City of
Mar.
Industry?
Yeah, we had Del Mar when we used to go to the ocean, and we'd take the horses and we'd go swimming, and we'd walk down with our horses and go ride in the ocean, and it was so much fun. And they would be afraid of the little foamy waves, but they would get right in the big waves.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about it just slipped my mind. Reedley, California. Did you ever go and show there?
Where?
Yeah, that's where I used to live.
That's Timmy's and Tim's dad's show. Reedley.
No, I probably saw it at Cow Palace, so that's for darn sure.
Yeah.
I did that. Lots in California. Kathy
Hanson.
No, well, yes, but Kathy, she used to run the shows, and she used to run West Coast at Pomona.
Oh, right.
Kathy Warren.
Kathy Warren.
Warren, right.
Their old place is where we used to show a lot at. Showed all kinds of stuff. And then when we went to Oregon, we started showing, and just the normal shows. We went to Albany and Eugene and Medford, and then our neighbors were Ed and Joan Mayfield, and we had they wanted us to do 4-H, and Joan was a 4-H leader, and I did that for a little bit. My sister and I were like, well, we do that all the time, and we actually had to like go down a little bit and do things that was just by the book, and that just wasn't our style. And so we started showing cattle, and the cattle, that was fun. But we did showmanship in the cattle, and that was easy because we knew how to do it. And yeah, so it was fun.
Cool.
Okay, Mr. Searles, tell us about your childhood, and then you can kind of tell us when you guys first met.
Yeah, well, shoot, following that's going to be tough. You know, my life kind of went a different version, or started out a different version. My parents, they always surrounded us around horses, and my sister was really involved in showing, and my parents were on the board of directors and the committee for the Scottsdale Prado del Sol, and they did a lot of rodeo. And so I kind of grew up around that, helping them all the time. And then my dad was in the sheriff's posse, so we always had horses, and I kind of, was interested in them, but then kind of not. And then as life got more interesting, I kind of started out with baseball from day one. And then I kind of got in a little bit of 4-H and a little bit of Scottsdale Saddle Club, and really got the interest. But every time I'd get on a horse, I mean, I don't think they even invented lunge lining back then, or lunging, but every time I got on a horse, I'd step on, kick it forward, it bucked me off. And I'm not going to every single time. So I kind of thought maybe baseball was going to be my route to go. And so I did. I kind of weaned off that while my sister continued on in horses and showed. And then I played baseball, which started out, just like spring and summer ball, then went to almost 365 days a year all the way through junior and high school. And as I was junior in high school, my sister and my parents, they bought him a horse, Honey Bar Lamb, and they were with Pete Kyle. And so I'd go out there and watch this horse that they kept talking about. And as I'm out there looking around, I'm kind of starting to notice all these good-looking girls out here. And I'm sitting on the fence and going, I thought baseball was pretty cool, but this is all right now. So I really started focusing on that a little bit and started weaning off on baseball. And so I came home and I said, Dad, I'm ready to do horses again. And he goes, well, no, I'm not really ready to pay for them right now because your sister's already got 2 horses. And so I got back into it, got a horse. And the first horse we had with Pete was Honey Bar Lamb. And that's the one thing I have on Jason Martin. Jason Martin might have 19 Western Riding World Championship between them and Charlie, but we got the first one in our family. 1984, she won the Junior Western Riding. So nice. I got one step on him right there. So I feel pretty good about that.
Anytime anybody can say that, that's saying something right there.
Right.
Get one up on those guys.
It didn't last long, obviously. So, and then from there, I showed halter and Western Pleasure, reining, cow horse. That's actually where I got my first buckle, my last year in youth on Sky Bobby. Pete got me tuned up and got me through it, and I got a buckle. It was fun. Good job.
So who wants, either one, kind of tell me how you guys kind of met?
You want that one, or you want me that
male version?
You know what? I'll start out how we met. You can talk about the first date because you seem to get a kick out of that, and
I definitely want her to share that.
we were down at it was over New Year's, and I think it was in 86 or probably 87. Just turned into 88. I think time flies.
It was like 88, 89. They were 89.
So I was coming home from the Arizona Nationals. I was working for Mark Sheridan then. And as I was coming home, he was coming home with the truck and trailer because at that point in my life, he didn't trust me driving the truck and trailer, I guess. So I came home in the car, come back to get all the stalls ready and everything like that. And all of a sudden I come driving this property here, and it was at Cactus Equestrian Center. And Casey Hinton had just moved there and was training horses out there also. We shared the barns together. And here's this girl in a gray Honda Accord just sitting there. And I mean, this thing was packed from the floorboard all the way to the ceiling. And right in the dash was this, how you see those little bouncy animals or whatever on the deal? It wasn't a bouncy animal. It was her dog. It was a Chihuahua. And I'm like, and she's sitting there and I got to admit, she had the most awesome smile, did this big old smile, but I was so focused on the dog and all the stuff in her deal. And plus I was in a hurry. She goes, hey, excuse me. Do you know who Casey Hinton is? And I'm like, well, yeah. And she goes, oh. She goes, well, you know where he's at? And I go, was coming back from a horse show. And I go, and we're getting back from one too, so I got to go. Boom, I took off. That was my first meeting with her. I was actually the first one she met in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You wanted her coming back.
How about that impression?
Right? Yeah.
But my impression of him, first person, his eyes were so bloodshot. They were so red. I was like, and he was just so standoffish. And I thought, are you a little stoned or? Right. And I was like, wow. And then later on, I see him again when I'm starting working, and I was like, oh, okay, you're not. You're good. You're a good guy. So
allergies, hon. Asthma.
It was allergies.
So tell us about your first date, and then whose idea was it to go on the first date?
Oh, it was definitely my idea to go on the first date.
Good job.
And I thought it'd be kind of neat to go to a movie and then have some dinner afterwards. Well, we did that, but she has some more planned out in this deal.
So we go to the movie, and I was like, well, I'll just bring some beer in. So I had 2 bottles of beer in my purse, and I put them in, and we get in there, and he doesn't really know this, so I was going to surprise him. So I go, here you go. And I take one out. Well, it falls out of my hand and it rolls down the movie theater all the way down. And so I embarrassed him there. And then we go to dinner at Marie Callender's. And it was really bright. And it's like 10 at night. So it should be, down. And we're on a date trying to get a little romantic. But so he's like, well, we're just talking about it. It's so bright in here. It's so bright in here. And I go, well, okay. So I reach up and I undo the light, and he was like, And so yeah, he didn't really know what to think of what was going on, but yeah.
So
Yeah.
now
And I told one of my friends, I said, we're just friends. We're just friends. He's going to be the one I marry. Now, this was like before we even had gone on a date. And I said, this will be the one I'm going to marry, but not yet. And yeah, it ended up the one I was going to marry.
Wow.
spoken like
never
the
forget
true
that.
bad girl right there. Like she sneaks beer into the movie theater. She's like, that's too bright. I'm not screwing the light bulb. And she's like, well, no, I'm not done being a bad girl yet before I marry that guy. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
I was a rule follower.
Great story.
I follow the rules.
I believe it. You got a halo, dude, right above your head.
That's baldness.
Nice. So let's keep going. Maybe Jimmy, let's talk about how you guys started your business and when you got married and stuff like that. And let's go from there.
Well, I would at the time, I just got done working for Pete Kyle, and I got this job in Texas working for Jack Finney. And to me, I look at it now as one of my greatest assets to me, because not only did I learn to ride horses by myself, I learned how to get them ready for amateurs. And, it wasn't about me going to win, it was about him going to win. I learned the business part of it. And so I'd moved to Texas to work for him. And actually, Bill Livingston got me that job from, I'd left Mark
And
Sheridan
Gretchen.
from there, and Gretchen also. And so while I was back there, I hadn't really been away from home. So Deanna and I had actually really started dating at this point. So, I started getting a little homesick. So I convinced her to move out to Texas with me. So she moved out to Texas. We did that routine for a year or so. And then about that time, we got this call from somebody. They want us to go to Switzerland to go to work. And I'm like, oh, okay. They wanted us to get ready for the European Championships over there in Switzerland. So I'm like, I'll do that. So I went and approached Jack, and Jack told me if I didn't go, he's going to fire me, because he thought that was an amazing opportunity. And he said, definitely I had a job back in Texas when I came, back from Switzerland. So we went there for 6 months, and as all intentions were to, come back and go to work for Jack and do all this. And we actually got married prior to me leaving Switzerland, and that deal. And so actually May 26, 1990. So it's 30 years this month. So that's crazy.
Love it. That's awesome.
So we went to Switzerland, did the deal. Well, while we were there, Pete Kyle informed everybody that he was leaving to go to Cow and Select up in Utah, and he had customers and horses and stuff, and he was letting everybody know. So Deanna came home and met with some people and some customers and kind of got that started. And that's how we kind of, back in 1990, actually probably January of 91 is our first show at Sun Circuit with customers that we got started. And I don't know if Deanna wants to tell them about how she met Susie and Kathy, but it was pretty awesome start.
So 91 was your first year in business together as Circle S, or was it Circle S yet, or did you even have a name yet? And you were in Arizona doing that. You weren't in Texas, is that correct? You came back from Switzerland back to Arizona.
Yeah, because when Pete opened up that opportunity, actually my father he bought the Circle S Ranch back in '88, and Mark Sheridan was working out of it, and that's when I'd left Mark and gone to work for Jack. And when we came back, the ranch was there for us to get started. And I laugh about it because my mom ran the books and everything like that, and Dad said, "Okay, here it is. You guys can get started, and we'll work out the payment plan and stuff later on too." Well, I walked into a $20,000 debt, feed bill, shavings bill, manure bill, and I'm just getting started. And I'm going, "Oh, this is going to be just awesome." So that was where we started Circle S Ranch. But back in the old days, we just did lessons and stuff. Anything we did for Safeway money, we made it work out, and it's been going.
Well,
it's been good. We've been blessed.
What was going price of lessons back in that day?
25?
Yeah, maybe 20, 25. I think if we did 25, we felt guilty.
Good job. Good job. Okay, so let's go a little further. Maybe I'll let Deanna talk for a little bit and just kind of start us at the beginning of your guys' business career and tell me where we go with that. You can go as far as you want to go. You can talk about whomever you want to talk about and your influences along the way.
Well, we've had Susie Johns and Kathy Tobin since the beginning. Susie, I actually had to call Susie when we got married. Jim knew Susie, but I did not. And I had to call Susie and said, "Excuse me, Mrs. Johns, you haven't responded to our wedding. Are you coming? You RSVP'd yet or not?" And she says, "I'm sorry, we can't come." But I had to call her over the phone and ask her that. It will never forget that because she was devastated. And I was like, oh boy. And yeah. And then Kathy, we had met with Pete, and Jim worked for Jack, and she had a horse that done by Gold. And we met her at, I want to say it was Tulsa, maybe. I can't remember. It was, yeah, I don't remember what show it was, and I thought she was a great lady. And so then when we moved, it was all instant barn. It was instant barn. We were so blessed. Things when they're supposed to work out, they work out. God has a way, and He has the book, and you just kind of go with the flow and trust Him. Yep. Because that's what happened. And then just, oh gosh, our showing career has been amazing. Our clients over all the years have just been fabulous, just fabulous.
You know, is there something, it can't be one that's meaningful, but is there one or two, or what was something that might have broke your career forward and stuff like that? Like, was there an icebreaker event that you won, or a horse that you showed that, or someone you trained that was an icebreaker?
There always seems to be a turning point, whether it's a horse, a client, the combination, or you get ready for a class, you go show you out, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, maybe I can kind of do this at a high level and very successful. Was there a point in that once you guys started your business? I know none of us really know when that's going to happen, and that we can never all plan to do that. We could just work hard and keep our nose to the grindstone. But what is kind of a turning point for, and each of you may have a different one, but a turning point that you guys said, okay, we're in this now, $20,000 a month in hay or whatever. Okay, let's forget about that. We got this. We're going to roll with it.
Well, that was our turning point. It's one big lump sum, I think. I don't know about you, Jim, but it was, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right and be at the top. That's what we just tried for, because I mean, everyone tries to be at the top, and we just kept working at it, and we were just blessed with our horses that we came across and had, and Done by Gold. Oh my gosh, he did so great umpteen years ago, and Kathy had him, and Susie bought him, and won small fry twice, and second 1 year, and then Susie went on, Kathy went on him.
Wow.
Though I don't know what was our first turning point, though. Like my biggest. Yeah, go ahead.
I said sometimes you have to get older to figure out where that's at. Maybe you don't know yet.
I guess I'm not old enough yet.
Yeah.
There you go. Great answer, Deanna.
That's the answer, right? Sometimes it's hard to look back until you're almost retired to figure out where that spot was. So you can be still going higher and higher, and you won't know. I mean, that's just how it is. Let me let Jimmy talk for a second and tell me, like, those early years too. Tell me some stuff, and then I'm going to come back to Deanna on some stuff I got to ask her. So, Jimmy, talk to me about your career. Like, what do you think?
Well, starting out, I had a bunch of influences and mentors. Pete and Tamara Kyle were awesome for me, and even Todd Crawford while we were out there, and of course the big three Western guys out here, the West Coast guys we call them. Benny Catrone, Al Dunning, Bob Avila, and that's one thing. Not very many people know the story, but Bob Avila, I kind of stalked him. He'd probably laughing right now if he's even listening, but I went up to a show in Albany, Oregon, right when Deanna and I got started, and I watched this guy. I mean, this guy was slick. had starched jeans, starched shirt, perfect hat. He showed halter in the morning. He showed Western pleasure, did the Western riding. And then he went to the reining, and then he even had the cattle events. But then you walk by, he's living in his trailer, and he had this nice rig. And not only was it nice, it was clean. And I go, you know what? That's going to be my MO. I mean, because I'm pretty psycho about my rigs and stuff too. And I kind of took off from that. And I said, you know what? We're going to do this first class. We're either going to crash and burn first class, or we're going to keep going. And, granted, great horses and great customers make us look good. So we've been very blessed with that part of it. So I have to say that's been awesome. And then, I sit back and watch people like, honestly, Gary and Kelly Roberts, who are still doing this at this age and the years they've been married and together, that keeps me motivated. Yeah. And it's just been great. And, actually one of my main idols is, and it's so amazing to watch, is like Gil Gallion. The way he works with horses, the way he runs his business, the way he does the all around stuff, his family values, he takes the time to go watch his kids, and family's a huge part of it. So we've been blessed going on with that, and blessed being able to do this with our family too.
Yep.
So, okay, let me ask Deanna this one too then. You can't get in the $250,000 club, professional horsewoman of the year, and Jimmy's most valuable professional unless you're doing something. So there has to be stuff left out there that you can tell us, that what makes you you, and what makes you special. What is it? Your horses, your clients? Is it your husband?
It's the whole package. You have to surround yourself with the right people. And I think that's so important, to have positive people around you, fun people around you. The negativity, especially now in the world, the negativity out there is just horrendous. But I don't know. Our horses, like we had Zippos Duclaw, and Jack Finney had Zippos Duclaw as his pleasure horse. Then Lisa Myers bought him. And then when we came back from Switzerland, Lisa brought him to us. And that was actually our start of our Western riding. He was a pleasure horse that became into a Western rider. And he had gone and had a great career. So I think that was like I guess for me, that was probably our start of getting the bug of going, yeah, we can do this. Right. Jim had a couple great fraternity horses that we took to Congress, and we weren't married. And I showed one of them for him, and it was in the 2-year-old fraternity or 3, Jim. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the twos.
And I don't really show the Western pleasure very often. And at that point, not very much at all. So I showed, and Jody Gallion was in there, and I was passing him or something, and he was like, "Oh, you're fine, you can come in." And it just scared. I was like, oh, "No, I can't do that. That's Jody Gallion." And but then I was like, "Wait a minute, okay, I'm everything feels good," and went around and placed. And then Jim, he went on to win another 2-year-old win another go round at the Congress. So that was just before we got married, and that's how it just went. We just got the bug, and it just escalated.
Wow. Hey, Tim,
that was definitely a confidence builder.
How cool is it, Tim, that we were just talking about Zippos Duclaw on Monday with Cleve Wells and Steve Heckerman. Right. How cool is that? Like, I love how our shows all intertwine, and Jack Finney as well. Right. So it's really cool to see how, like, again, all of these branches that go out from all these different trainers that just kind of keep passing down, and they keep coming through our show. And it's just really cool to see how one horse can change not just one life, but multiple lives sometimes. Yeah. So we don't always have to make sure we give the horses the credit.
Yeah, he deserves credit.
So I got one more aspect here. One, last night I was hearing about this horse trailer too, like, meaning I think it was Albert and Bobby was talking about their horse trailer like it's a walking billboard. So you have to make sure that thing's super clean as it's going down the highway, because everyone always sees it.
Very
so I
true.
thought That's super important. Just your tack room, the stuff that you have, that's a reflection on yourself. So you guys, horse trainers, need to make it look good. I mean, it ought to look good because that's your billboard. So I have one more question before I do the rapid fire. Can you go over like how you guys met, Charlie and Jason? Because you guys have showed together for so long. A short version.
Tell me y'all weren't friends when you first started, like you hated their guts.
Yeah.
No,
Come on, man.
we
No,
were
no,
come on.
I've known
That's
Charlie
good ratings.
before
Come on.
he was Jason and Charlie.
As much as I'd love to, I can't even go there. I can't do it.
No, adore him. But it's so funny. I remember when Jim was getting his judge's card or just got it.
Oh, geez.
And we were in Bakersfield, California, and showing Western riding. Jason and Charlie were still in California. And I think I was showing, what's Boz? Boz is,
I'm Ivy Leaguer.
I'm an Ivy Leaguer, and was riding him. And so I started to school him. Well, and it was a pattern it must have been pattern 1 or something. Yeah. And we're going towards the gate down the line, and I get whistled out. And I was like, no, I'm not done yet. No. And I'm like, I can't stop. I'm at the gate. That would be terrible. So I'm like, no, I can't do that. So I finish, and Jason and Charlie are calling Jim from the phone that's in the case. And they're calling him and saying, you are not getting your judge's card. You are not getting your judge's card. Because it was Carol Rose was the judge. And she was saying, thank you. You're excused now. And I go, I'm not done now. And so I thought, well, they schooling up in the reining and the roping and stuff like that, that I certainly can finish a Western riding pattern and check my horse a few times. So that was our funny story on them going, Jim, you're not going to get your judge's card. That was years ago.
Wow.
That is as true as it is. I mean, they literally called me, and she was on the judges committee and an interviewer. And I was like, you did
You're
what?
screwed.
And they're just laughing. They go, you're done. Don't even go to Stillwater. And I, and that was like she said, she called me on the little phone box later and said, oh my gosh, I think I might have messed up. And I'm like, oh well, it is what it is. And so it worked out though.
Some people probably don't even know what that phone box is.
Yeah.
I remember
it was free. If you bought $100 worth of groceries at Fry's, it was free.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's that time, Mr. Brad Jewett.
Here we go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Get your cards ready. We love these questions Tim prepares.
Okay, so the first 5 questions have A, B, C, D, and then 6 through 11 has A or B. So question number 1, which type of food do you like to eat when you go to Hawaii? A, a great steak, B, the great seafood, C, the tropical fruits, D, the teriyaki chicken.
Right in front of your face, Jim. I can't see it.
Put it a little bit under your
right
beard.
in front of your face. There, B, C. What did you say, Deanna? C and what?
B.
C and B.
I'm backwards.
Okay. Ready for this one?
Okay.
In 2020, who in your mind is the best tennis player?
Oh, well, I can see what's coming.
A, Jim Searles. B, Deanna Searles. C, Jason Martin. D, Charlie Cole.
Jim didn't even want to hear the rest of them. Oh, Deanna didn't hesitate.
Wow.
Wow.
Easy question.
It's very, very close.
What was your favorite subject in high school? A, history. B, English. C, math. D, science. D, science. C, math. I spelled it wrong. Sorry.
You don't have recess on there.
I'm stuck.
E.
You can only pick from the choices available.
E, none above.
I'm a math guy, Deanna. I got it. History for Jim.
Okay. Which of these events would you enjoy showing if you were given a good horse to ride? How's that? Which of these events would you show if you were given a good horse to ride? A, barrel racing. B, working hunters. C, heading or heeling. Or D, cowboy dressage.
Heading and heeling for Jim. I thought Jim was going to say working hunter. Barrel
Yeah.
racing, Deanna.
Good job, Hank.
Like some
Okay.
speed.
This is tricky.
Oh, I got to tell a story on that. It's definitely not jumping for her. I think the first year that we were, you did barrels, yeah, but she broke her leg the first time we did Hunter Hack
Wow.
at the Sun Circuit.
Ouch. Okay, so if you both need 2 partners for team pinning, okay, and these were the only choices left to pick, who would you pick? A, Chad Evans and Kelly McDowell.
Answer
B.
slowly.
B, Robin Frid and Gino Spagnola. C, Tommy Sheets and Ryan Conningham. And D, Brad Jewett and Tim the Trailman Kimura.
Come
Ooh,
on.
tough one.
That's a good question. They're all your friends. Look at that.
Pick teams.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Talking about, I'm fist bumping you right now. That's right.
Good answer.
Right.
Okay, so now it's A or B.
We
A
would
for
dang sure have fun.
That's right. Exactly.
A, Jim, B for Deanna. A for Jim, B for Deanna. Who do dogs like most or bark the least at? A, Jim, D, Deanna. Who do dogs like the most? Who's the dog one? Who's the dog?
I think I know the answer to that.
A, Jim, B, Deanna.
Yeah, I would say that, Deanna, after he met you and you had a dog in your...
Except for the fact that he got me bit one year, and so it didn't like me very much.
Oh,
We were dating, and we were at Del Mar, and so we're kind of flirting, and he's goofing off, and we're walking down the aisleway, and he's trying to tickle me, and I'm like, you got to stop, because we walked past, I think it was like a Queensland or something, and it was a pretty big dog, and I go, no, you got to stop, and he's gonna bite me. No, he's not, and bit me.
She never
Okay.
got that, Jim.
No, I
A
saw
or-
the scar.
It's a
A or
scarf.
B. Who makes the better choices when it comes to eating healthy? Who makes the better choices when it comes to eating healthy? A, Jim.
I know
B,
the answer to this.
Deanna.
Wow.
Can't you tell?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Okay, here's the best one. Who's the most competitive when it comes to anything in general? Who's the most competitive when it comes to...
Yep.
Where am I?
Right in front of your face, Deanna.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. They didn't hesitate.
Yeah, no.
Who
If you asked
texts,
Jason and Charlie, I'd have said Jason too.
I would believe that.
who texts or looks at their phone longer throughout the day and night? Who
I know the
texts
answer to that.
at their phone longer
Yes,
through the day?
Man, I know you guys better than I thought I did.
2 more. Who is most receptive to constructive criticism? Who is most receptive to constructive criticism?
I love it. I love it.
Final question.
That's an easy
Who
one.
remembers birthdays and anniversaries the best? Who remembers anniversaries and birthdays?
Wow.
Wow, Jim.
Wow.
Good.
Deanna's still
Yeah,
carrying her
absolutely.
bad girl years, huh?
No, Jim does. I don't remember anything. Jim does all the books, all the organizing. He's Hazel in the house. I leave. I come back, and Hazel's been there. The house is clean. The bills are done. Everything's
Wow.
done. There's reservations. He handles it all. He's like a little traveling travel agent, and he handles all of that. I'm not so much like that. No.
Wow. Well, I
Let's
learned a little bit of something new. I would not have
Yeah.
totally said that.
I cook.
For sure.
I work, and I'm a little busy bee, but no. That stuff I leave all to him.
So
All about Jimmy.
that was an awesome rapid fire round right there. That was awesome. So we're going to take a quick break here. I want everybody to know or do a favor for Tim and I, if you would. We've never asked y'all to do this, but I think it would be a great night to do it. And while we're on our break, thanking our sponsors, if you guys could, if you know how to go on, you can share this live feed while we're live, right? So it can go onto your own page. If you would do that, we want to try to get people starting into the habit of that. We're not going to beg you. We're not anything. But if you know how to do that, if you could share that, that would be awesome for our second half of our show, where we're going to dig into the Western riding. We're going to
have any questions?
pick their brains. If you guys have any questions, please start sharing them during the break, because we'll bring them up to these two great horse trainers, great people, as all of you have already said. So, Kona, let's go ahead and take us to break, man.
Caring for your horses is easy when there's a safe choice for you. If you need one feed for the whole barn, there's a safe choice. If your horses need gastric support, there's a safe choice for them too. Some horses need lower starch and sugar. You guessed it, there's a safe choice for them. There's also a safe choice for mares and foals, for seniors, and for easy keepers. All these horses can gain a lot with science-backed nutrition from Nutrina. Yours could too. For every horse, there's always a safe choice.
Every once in a while, something comes along that could be a game changer. Enter Unishippers, a trusted shipping source for more than 30 years. If you need a reliable, fast shipping source, turn to a specialist that knows the unique shipping needs of the equine reproductive marketplace. As an authorized UPS reseller, Unishippers offers unbeatable shipping value. Let Unishippers deliver for you. Call Mark and his team today.
Everybody, welcome back for the second half of the Keeping It Real show with Tim Kimura and Brad Jewett, with our guests tonight, Jim and Deanna Searles. Hey, we want to thank our sponsors again for being here, helping us be able to keep this show going. And if any of you all are interested in being a sponsor, you can see all of our great sponsors above our heads here. We thank each and every one of you. But if you are interested, please go to thekeepingitrealshow.com, thekeepingitrealshow.com. And there is a link there that you can send us a question and we can give you our different levels of sponsorship. We would love to have you on as a partner in the Keeping It Real show. All right, Tim, let's bring Jim and Deanna back and keep rolling.
So, Deanna, someone was asking what type of beef you showed when you were up north.
What kind of beef?
Limousine cattle.
Limousine. There you go, Sharon Woman. Limousine.
Okay. So, Mr. Searles, I'm kind of curious because I learned. Tell me about why you're so afraid of frogs and toads.
Oh, you know what? I'm not that afraid of them. They're okay.
Okay.
No,
like
no.
you hate snakes. Like Tina hates snakes. But we have so much frog gear. We have so much frog gear here, and that's like freaking me out. And when I was moving poles today, I saw so many frogs today. Okay.
Well, that's
you
when I
don't have
lived
to
in
answer that
Texas. When I lived in Texas, they were everywhere. Especially you walk down to the barn to go blanket horses. They were everywhere. The grass. I was just close your eyes and do the Karate Kid. Just close your eyes and just feel your way through to the barn because the frogs freaked me out. And then I think it was my son and the John boys or something. They decided they were while we were up in Oregon, Snake Izola's house, they decided they were going to plant these frogs in my bedroom. And I'm severely scared of them. These were not frogs. These were toads. They were size of boulders. And one was in the toilet and one was in the room. I got up the middle of the night to the bathroom. And when I pulled up the toilet seat, I about fell off the second floor of the deal, jumped on the bed, and as I'm running to the bed, there was another one there, and I actually woke up Deanna. And you don't wake up Deanna. That's like a sleeping grizzly bear in a cave. I woke her up, and she's what? And I go, there's a blank frog on it. She goes, oh, you big chicken. I go, no. So she gets up and she's chasing around with a broom and a trash can trying to get it caught. This thing takes the leap for life for the bed that I'm standing on. I
He's
used some
screaming.
profanity, told her she didn't catch that thing, we were done.
Screaming.
And screaming. I mean, and if she didn't catch that thing,
Profanity
we were
at me
done.
because I didn't get the frog yet.
Yeah. So
I'm
she
sorry.
swept it out the door. It fell off the second floor.
I love it.
It was, and I don't remember how we got the one out of the toilet.
It
No,
reminds
yeah.
I
that
love
reminds
it.
me of the monkey story
Oh,
about the monkey. I was trying to-
because Tim will like roll over in his chair right here, just dial. We'll lose Tim the rest of the night. So don't bring the monkey story up.
Okay. Okay. So here's a question for either of you. What changes have you seen in the class and the horses and the judging and the Western riding? I'll try to go serious.
Changes being from the early days to now.
Yeah, like when you were like in youth and starting to back in the 90s, I guess, 90s, and then that's 30 years since you got married. How's that? Since you guys been married and you showed then, and now in 2020, how has it changed?
Well,
Either way.
I think definitely the scoring system has brought it into more consistent and an event that we all understand. We can go back and check and realize where we were rewarded for and where we were penalized for. So to me, the scoring system has been awesome. You know, the quality of movement definitely has been good, you know, thanks to our Western Pleasure guys who provide us with those horses, the Broke Foundation. And, you know, I think that's really helped it. And you know, the interest in it is just made it accelerated and made it just incredibly tough. I mean, now you go to the junior Western riding at the World Show and you better be big A game. So I think that, and the fact that, you know, the education the judges are getting and using the score sheets and doing that is making it an interesting class and a lot better, in my opinion.
So, Deanna, is there anything different that you do or when you show or anything like that from back in the day till now? No.
You know, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
say we had a few horses that were ahead of their time. Well,
Yeah.
Zippel's Dewclaw was. Sweet Dynamics. She was ahead of her time.
Silent Blessings.
Silent Blessings. We had some horses that just were different. Yeah, they were just a little different. Didn't mean we did any better or not. They were just different. And I think now they still could have competed, maybe not great, but still could have competed, at least in our minds. You know, that was a long time ago, that they could have. But
How about?
I don't know.
Okay. So I'll stay with you, Deanna, on this one. Then help me here.
Okay.
Then, what common mistakes do you see with like less experienced riders out in the field?
Less experienced riders, they might just not get the timing in the middle. They might miss their timing completely. They won't get their shoulders out of the way. They'll lean with their shoulders a lot and still change instead of using their seat.
Right.
That would be I think a biggest, like the non-pros, youth that are novice at it. They'll lean into the lead changes instead of sitting up and using their hips into the lead changes.
And then Jim or Brad too. Go ahead.
Well, can I back up because you know they didn't really hesitate on changes, and so as far as changes from the industry from then to now, so are you telling me your program from the outset has pretty much stayed the same? Have you? I mean, I'm not looking for an answer. I'll go either way, whichever way you guys decide. But has there been? Obviously, we're all learning all the time, but tell me a little bit about what you know, any tweaks, changes, anything that you've done in your program over 30 years.
Well, I would say our quality of horses have changed a lot, and now they're definitely more pleasure horses into looser rein, heads lower. You know, forward was kind of always the pace. Our drills might have changed. I think everything has evolved into an updated version. but the horses have. So you just kind of keep going with them. I don't remember what I did yesterday. I don't remember what I did 30 years ago in the Western riding. So, Jim, you might have something.
I feel we still start with the basics. I mean, doesn't matter 30 years ago or now, we still start our horses the same way. I mean, we start with the basics. We start in a snaffle and get them, changing on time and together. And that's that we do that route. And so to us, that hasn't changed. The way of showing it has changed because you're not just that great lead changer, it's the finesse. It's how good you look in between the lead changes. It's how good you look getting that change on time and the log and the transition. It's all evolved to where that has changed. But us, as far as getting them ready and even teaching our clients, we do incorporate some new drills, but it's pretty much the same for us, I believe.
So Tim, if I can finish up that line of questioning, and why I asked him that is because, again, we talked about it a little bit on Monday with Cleve and Steve. I love to hear the fact that your program really hasn't changed. That tells me that you guys have a program, and when I say that, it's all about the horse. And some horses need a little bit. They have to learn to move over more, get their shoulders more out of the way. And some of them, it may be a little easier or whatever. But as horse trainers, most of the time, young horse trainers, we all get in our own way. Because we just think that, and I say this because this is what I did forever. And finally, the Western riding is starting to come a little bit easier for me now, but forever, I just never felt like I trusted it. And so I was always trying to tweak and change my program all the time. I watched this person, I watched that person. Okay, I got to figure, oh crap, now this is happening, right? And so the fact that your level of success that y'all have had in this event that we're talking about tonight just is so awesome. The consistency, and it's just, I've judged you both multiple times, and your patience, the consistency out of your cadence, the consistency out of your horse's setups, your timing, obviously. And, we tried to pry out of Charlie and Jason when we had them. What's the key to get to changing leads really good? Change a bunch of leads. It was that simple, right? Change a bunch of leads. And so, it's just awesome that the secret sauce is really just in doing it enough, having a program, staying with it, and keeping it really simple and allowing your horse to show it the best that you possibly can.
If I could add something to that real quick, Brad.
Please.
I mean, you nailed it. But I think what I'm blessed with, and Jason and Charlie the same, and others too, is I have a great set of eyes that is watching me while I'm going through my routine or going through my beginning stages or my finishing stages. And same as Deanna, we each other have each other's back, and we're not afraid to tell each other that no, that looks like doo-doo or that looks great. So, I mean, having that person there giving you that confidence and that eye for you certainly helps. Like you say, Brad, you do it and you do it well, but it definitely helps have that extra set of eyes to give you the confidence and help you through it.
I totally see that. Charlie and Jason said the same thing. They're honest, sometimes brutally, and not to turn this into Charlie and Jason. They've had their show. Dang it, get off our show. No, I'm just kidding. but they're obviously great at this as well, and they've always had that other set of eyes. And I've had clients that have good eyes, and they've helped me a lot in the past, but it's just not that day in, day out, year in, year out set of eyes that truly kind of help you with that. So I definitely see how that could be a benefit. We got a question here, Tim, if I can go to it, from Heather Smith. It says, what are some tools or tips to get the finished look, head down, top line steady, once your horse has already, learned to change leads? Like, this, the finesse piece, I think that she's kind of asking about, Jim, that you kind of alluded to. So if you can take this question whichever way, because I know it's not something you just like, here's the answer to it. So there's probably some different scenarios. Is maybe you guys have started finishing horses out, say, you know what, their change is really good, but again, you have another set of eyes, and Deanna's telling you it's too low or it's too high or it's this or it's that or vice versa. Just talk a little bit about that question, if you would. Pop that question up one more time, Kona.
There you go.
What are some tools or tips to get that finished look?
Mine is having them broke. We're talking about finished horse. Have them broke when you start doing those lead changes. And my deal is building that horse's confidence. I don't just go there and run down and do the whole line while I'm trying to get one framed up or something like that. I'll do a change, keep him framed up, keep his head down, finish with a nice change, build his confidence by just breaking to the walk. I start out with the basics that way and just get their confidence up, and then don't make it such a big deal going down the line, or across the middle, and a lot of prep. I try to show them like I practice, or I try to practice like I show them. And if you can get their confidence built up that way, and not make it a big deal, and not always punishing them for a missed change or something like that. And 9 times out of 10, it's usually my fault more than it is the horses. So you just got to instill that in your head and give them the confidence, and just keep building on that.
Do you guys set up a lot of lines at home and practice a lot of lines yourselves? We're going to get to your amateurs and youths and non-pros, all that here shortly. But yourselves, what's your process? When do you introduce that line to a 3-year-old, 2-year-old, 4-year-old, whatever age that you want to start? What's kind of your criteria to say, okay, let's set it? Do you have a line set up all the time at home, or is it just something you kind of do every once in a while? Go ahead, Deanna.
We do. We have a line set up. I just love to do drills that we'll come in and we'll circle the cone. We change in the center. We circle the next cone. We change in the center. We circle the next cone. Constantly, so they're always focused and paying attention. Sometimes it's doing the line cantering. When you can get the changes across your middle, that they know that you can let go of them, and they're confident they know where their legs are supposed to go when you have a young one. And when they know that push and the release is what they need. Can you hear me? Because I think I just lost my ear.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, oh.
So,
And
go ahead, Deanna.
Yeah.
I think just practicing, like Jim said, how you're going to show when they're finished, that's how that's going to go. But we practice the line. We practice it a lot, but maybe if it's a good line, we're done. We pet them, we get off, give them a mint, and we're done. I keep them in my pocket, so I kind of bribe them.
You're giving our secrets away, huh?
Yeah.
Needs to start doing that with the dogs.
So if I can jump in, can we talk about like when multiple riders have to show the same horse on the same day? Like, I don't know, sometimes the trainer shows before the non-pro or youth, and sometimes the youth shows before the adult or the trainer. Is there a trick to that, or what's your mindset or your strategy when you're doing that? How about Jim first?
That's a great question, because it is tough to do the open and then turn around and do the non-pro or vice versa. But, and we've been blessed with good riders and talent and they teach so well. But, mine and Deanna's philosophy has always been about getting them ready for them first, from day one. They're the ones that pay the bill. Yep. They're the ones that sign the check. It brings us so much joy to watch them do well. I mean, I don't know if people even understand how well it makes us feel when our youth or our amateurs do well. So we really key for them. Trust me, there's not one class that Deanna and I wouldn't want to win or win and say, oh, I wish it, yeah. I mean, we'd be tickled to death, but it's really about them, and it's tough. So if they can go in and have a good trip, you know what? Great. Then that makes me feel good. I go show, and I'll try to show the heck out of them. And if it's not right, then you do a quiet fix or something like that. And so that's what, and then it really gets tough when you get to the Congress and the World Show, and you have to have that A game on both days. So, but that's what we practice at home too. I ride them, they ride them, then I ride them again, or they ride them again. So we do everything at home as we do at the shows. So that's kind of where we start.
Got it.
So we have
not overschooling.
Yeah, we have a question here, and we'll let Deanna take this from Raquel Brusher. How do you get your non-pros or your amateurs to get the right timing down the line? Or, any particular drills? What do you do? Mm-hmm. What do you do? Go ahead, Deanna.
We teach them how to count. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sometimes it's singing a song, which helps you, Mary had a little lamb, and it keeps you in a beat, a rhythm. Keep looking up. Counting 1, 2, 1, 2 might help everybody have that timing a little bit better. And sometimes I forget to count myself. So don't be afraid to mess up, because I'm really good at that too.
So go ahead, Tim.
I was saying that reminds me of just doing a pole, right? Just like going to a lope over it. If you just count to the pole, you stay in rhythm and let the horse do its job. Okay, put them in a good position and do it, and don't get in the way, and just keep the rhythm and keep the sync with your horse. It ought to happen.
Yeah.
Well,
We try
absolutely.
to
I guarantee you, if there wasn't the dang pole in that Western riding, I'd have a lot more runs at Mr. Martin. That pole has crippled me more than ever. And I practice at home and I preach it, but sometimes there's just days you don't see it. And it's just, and back to what Deanna said, the key to non-pros is keeping them looking up. As soon as they look down, they lose sight where they're at and they lose their timing, because everything is different. If you're looking up out in front of your horse, you can see your spot, you can count, you can feel that timing, feel that rhythm. So I think looking up's a key too.
If I can dive into that a little bit, because, and I'll play the devil's advocate here, is so you have that new non-pro that is doing the Western ride, and they've shown it a dozen times or whatever. Obviously, their timing isn't perfect, and so they're going to miss when they ask, or maybe not get it set up. So, you see it probably as much in this class as any, is that the timing gets off. In the perfect world, as I'm thinking, Mary had a little lamb, going down that line, everything's just, that feels like that winning run. But I've seen many that get out of timing, but they still end up being able to recover. And I see that a lot in your horses, as a credit to you guys in your training. What advice do you give that showman that gets out of timing somewhere in that line, whether they're schooling or getting prepped to go show, or whether they're in the show pen? How do you get them to overcome that mentally?
Well, I would say shake that off and ride to the next change. You got to forget about that. It's in the past. You can't change it. And you don't know how everybody else has done as well. So you might just want to, maybe someone's schooled all day and or missed a change, and you don't know that. So you just kind of keep going. And that's what we try to tell our clients. It might not feel great, even the pros, it might not feel great, but sometimes they're just going to go, you know what, I just shake that off and get to a better change this next one, or get back into the 1, 2, and start counting and looking up and thinking about keeping your shoulders back and sitting square in the seat. That's a big thing as well. So for non-pros to go, shake that off. Don't worry about it. There's a whole bunch of other lead changes you can get that are plus ones. Right. You might have a 0 or you might have a minus, but maybe you had a plus half and it washes it out. So try to keep improving on each and every one. And breathing helps, because a lot of non-pros, they'll hold their breath.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So if I really want to get here. Can you tell me a little bit about your children? Because I haven't got there yet tonight. About their show careers and how you raised them and how that works, your family dynamics.
I love our kids.
Yeah, we're blessed there also. To have the opportunity to do what we do and work at home and see them. And, there's times when we were gone, when they're young, they were with us, but when they started school, we feel like we're gone all the time. But, if you look at the time that we're with them and here at the house, it's probably more than that 9 to 5 job where they leave early in the morning, that father does, and then gets home late at night, barely gets to dinner, and they're into bed. So, to us, it's been really good. And the fact that they both love what we do is such a blessing too. Taylor, everything was easy with her. As a matter of fact, Taylor won the Congress in her mom's stomach, riding English at the junior, as a junior hunter saddle. So she started out right there, boom, and has gone on, and we've been blessed. She's taken her talents on to Auburn University and been on the equestrian team and won multiple national championships and all American, all SEC all academic.
Awesome.
So, and it's been easy but I think the reason it's easy for them is that they're around it all the time, because we don't help them as much as everybody thinks. They pick up all this stuff on their own by visual and learning this. So, that's been great to us. Trent, he loves horses. He rode and he has a great seat, but dang near got bucked off too when he was doing lead line. And I think that instilled fear of him. So that, then to me, he kind of crossed over and kind of went to the dark side for a second because he went into halter. I was like, whoa, that's way off of where we're at. I go, all right, like that. But he went with Ryan Kell, and Ryan Kell got him started. I mean, him and Andrea, wow, what a job they got in, the confidence they instilled with him. And then we've always been a fan of Jeffrey Payton. Now he has his horses with Jeffrey Payton, won multiple world championships, grand champion mare at the Congress. So it's in the family. So, you know what? I love talking about my kids, and I love talking about our customers because they make us look good.
Yeah.
And Trent is going to Auburn now too. So we'll have both of them there. So it's kind of cool.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
He just got accepted. Yes.
Yeah. He's going to Auburn, and he is our biggest cheerleader at the horse shows, or he has all the cheerleaders around him. I'm not sure which that way goes, but, yeah, he has a little following himself, but I wish he'd ride more because he does it. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know what you're doing. And he went down the line on one of our horses at Sun Circuit, and I go ride him. And he never missed a beat. But I don't know if he listens to it all the time or it just is inbred in him. I don't know. He just did it.
So, we're very blessed on this show to have so many people that have been in the business for such a long time and have great family values, and they have great stories to tell. How can you give us tips for other people how to balance the horses, the clients, your family, the time you're away from home, and keeping your business together for such a long period of time?
I can comment on that one. Our biggest thing is we go on vacation. I don't care if it's a staycation somewhere, but you go. You have to since we live on the ranch, it's 24/7, 7 days a week. So you have to get away and take the family. It can be just for a day, but go fishing, go skiing, go do something, go camping. We used to go camping a lot, and that was really fun. And then it got a little hard on the back, but it's always fun. And just, you have to have a good sense of humor. And when you're married and do it, you are working together 24/7. You're doing the business, you're doing the family, and everyone goes through, good and bad times, but you just have to have faith and know that it's going to be there. And I don't know, balancing the kids, you have God, family, work, and you have to kind of treat your business as a 9-to-5 job. There is a point where you have to say, I'm out of work, right? And I'm done today. I'm just done. That's it. And because if you don't, you'll live and breathe it, and it consumes your whole life. I mean, it is all of us, but you do have to separate it a little bit.
How about you, Mr. Searles?
Oh, I agree 100% with that. And we're blessed with having, God and a great family involved in us. And that is truly how we go, and we do it in that order, and then work and everything else follows that. The getting away, it is great, but we work hard to play hard. And that's kind of our thought process. And I don't think people sometimes understand that, they're all on vacation all the time. They're short, like Deanna says, staycations. Maybe we'll go get done and in the afternoon go play 9 holes with Trent. Trent loves golf. Taylor, they all, it's a family little deal. And we do stuff together like that and away from the horses. And especially when you get back from a horse show, you know what? That trailer can sit there and be unloaded on another day or something like that too. It's family time.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Great.
I want to elaborate on that a little bit, because beyond your flesh and blood family, your clients are like family, right? I mean, am I wrong there? I mean,
Absolutely.
you guys have had clients as long as anybody that I know in the industry that have been with you since the outset. And to see y'all's relationship, you guys have a smile on your face at the horse shows. Your clients have a smile on their face at the horse show. They're always attentive. They respect you. You see how they respond to you. That's not to get overlooked, because there's a lot of people in this industry, a lot of clients that have been with their trainer for such a short period of time, and all of a sudden, they lose that confidence with the trainer that they have. So speak just a little bit about some of your amazing clients that you've had and how you develop that kind of relationship. Cleve talked about it on Monday about like his clients he's had over 30 plus years as well. And so I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on that a little bit.
You want that, Jim?
Well, yeah. Well, I'll start out and certainly can fill in, but perfect examples is like the Tobins. Their boys showed along with Kathy's, just sum up, but they enjoyed it. But Kathy has an amazing husband in Jerry, because she supports her throughout all. I mean, he doesn't do anything with the showing, but he's so supportive. So that makes it a great atmosphere when we're at horse shows and stuff like that. And Kathy, I mean, wow, she's
a godmother,
one of the great customers.
Trent.
Yeah, she's Trent's godmother. Everything she does is just fantastic. Positive and stuff too. And then you have Susie Johns and her family, and we're trying to try to differentiate between work and family and friends, and we've been blessed to do it well. And Susie, she got separated from her husband at the kids' early age. I think they were 3, 6, and 9. So we got to raise those boys, and it meant so much for us. And that's probably why it took us 9 years to have Taylor. But we got to get that feeling and the love. And I mean, we did stuff with them, we do stuff with them, but then we come back and it was work and horse shows. And you know what, we work hard and until that last class is done, and then we go play and have family time or with them. And the fact that being honest was our main thing. And I really learned that from Jack Finney, the business part, and on how to handle the difference between friendships and business. And I give him a lot of credit for that. And both Kathy and Susie, they know how to differentiate between the two. And we trust me, we've had our little differences and our knockdowns, but we all understand each other and God, we love them as family and love them as customers. Deanna?
A lot of people don't know that Susie and Kathy are sisters. So their family, it's a tight-knit family in general. And they've been role models to us, raising our kids, marriage. Their faith, how they do their family, and they just are amazing people. And I think the more you surround yourself with those kind of people, and I know it's sometimes hard when you're trying, as a trainer, you're trying to pay the bills and you're like, well, it's a good horse, I'm just going to have that client.
Now we lost you again. I think you lost.
Now we've lost
your left ear piece fell
your
out.
earpiece out.
Oh,
The other ear.
Well,
come on,
and to pawn off on that too. I mean, it's just.
Got it. I'm back.
Got it. Okay, go ahead.
There you go.
Trent.
That's right. Trent's got you. That's right. Trent, come on.
Come on, Trent.
Go ahead.
No.
Continue, Deanna, because we missed those last few words.
Oh, I already forgot what I said. No, their family. You, as a trainer, you want to surround yourself with people that you look up to. If one bad apple ruins the whole thing. So, and when you first have a new client in, and you kind of have to tell them, okay, look, sometimes I'm brutally honest, and you're not always going to win. We always want you to win. This, and you kind of have to break it down a little bit for them to say, is this going to be okay for you? Because some people like different styles, and
right.
And you say, how do you? We always say, do you learn by feel? Do you learn by listening? Do you learn by watching? And it's kind of getting to know them as well, but their personalities too. You have to kind of find out what they like and don't like, and always it's a hobby for your clients, so you want to keep it fun.
Right.
Right. Right.
Good.
Mr. Jim, are you good? You want to
I'm
add on
good.
to that?
Yeah, no, I'm good. And I guess I'd add about, Kathy and Susie. A lot of people to know they are so incredibly shy. For as much as they've won and done, they're always talking about, I could be better here, I could be better there, and they're incredibly shy. For as much as they've done, they are so humble. And you know what? That's helped us. It's kept us very humble. And you know what? They're not afraid to tell. They don't let us get big headed or anything like that too. But great customers of great horses makes Deanna and I look really good.
Yeah, it's awesome. It takes that for all of us as horse trainers to have those really good customers. And, a credit that I'll add to that as well is, they're not your only clients. You've had multiple other clients that have done very well. And so that in itself is an incredible feat to have clients that are that strong, that powerful as far as being able to compete at a high level and that have been with you that long. To have new clients come in and allow that shareability, that's just a testament to who they are as women, right? And in that family, I should say, because they haven't made it about them, but they're just so generous. They are so everything that you said about them. I don't know them personally very well, but I don't think there's ever a time that I don't walk by them that they don't smile and say hi. And it feels genuine. It doesn't feel fake. It feels real, and that's all that you could ever ask, right? And so it's awesome to hear that about them, and to hear it from you guys is even more special, because I love hearing those kind of stories of trainer-client relationships, because that without my clients that I've had over my 25-year career, I would not be where I'm at today for sure. My clients have been very patient. I didn't know really anything about this all around deal when I started, and they took their time. They're like, we understand you're learning, but you're working hard, and we appreciate you working hard. And I've got so many funny stories that maybe we'll take a show, Tim, sometimes and tell you about funny stories of me and how patient my clients were in that process, just because they appreciated how hard I worked. And I learned from people like watching Jim and Deanna and so many others as well of how to draw that line of, this is business, you're paying me to do this job, and then when you're done, okay, let's have some fun. Let's not carry it on to dinner or whatever, right? So
right. And they're so giving. So, and I mean, it definitely helps, and their love for the industry is amazing. But
yes.
I got to do one more shout out to another client who's been with us probably for 25 years also, Sarah Nyquist. She's had horses with us all along, and now we're out hunting for one for her. But
Perfect.
You know what? It's that relationship with all these ladies now that it just makes it fun for us too. And it's their hobby. They're having fun. We're having fun.
Absolutely.
I just want to say thank you, though. Thank you for sharing your stories with us tonight, because
I just want to say that raising the kids, all of our clients throughout the years have helped raise the kids. So it takes a village, and they've all been around amazing people. And the horse show world, there's amazing. We have such a great group people, and we kind of all live in a bubble, and it is wonderful. But our clients have helped raise our kids, all of our clients, and I'm grateful for that.
It's definitely been an honor to have you guys on tonight.
I don't have any children, but I could totally see how you couldn't do it with any different.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get them ready, they're your clients ready, and they know you have children. If they don't stop, I mean, it takes a village. Very well said. But yes, thank you so much, Jim and Deanna, coming from Arizona tonight. Thank you. I know you guys probably haven't eaten dinner yet.
Not yet.
So early.
Right. Cooking. I'm going to be cooking here in a minute.
Well, thanks for all you guys do, especially in this time. There's so much negativity, but you guys just throw out so much positive stuff, and we enjoy watching. Your all your guests, and how much humor you throw into it, and it's serious too, and so much learning. So thanks, Tim and Brad. Wow. I mean, I can't say any more than that.
Thank you.
Stay safe and healthy.
Thank you.
Stay safe and healthy, everybody, and God bless.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Stay on the line. We'll be right back with you in just a sec. Tim and I are going to close out. Everybody, thank you for joining in tonight. We had a great crowd. But again, we want to, before we leave, we always like to thank our sponsors again. Again, if you're interested in being a sponsor, we would love for you to go on thekeepingitrealshow.com. Click on the link. Tell us about yourself and how we could partner up on the show to keep this show going. We are going to be going live, hopefully very soon at the Redbud. We'll be going live and look forward to seeing everybody there. Tim, what do you got to say before we go?
Type the topic Thursday tomorrow night.
How about that? Yes, type the topic Thursday. We've got Mr. Doug Hulse coming in to say, hey, tell us about Arizona Quarter Horse Association. Very fit with Jim and Deanna Searles being on tonight. And then also Unishipper is going to be joining us. And then Valerie Kearns and Lainey DeBoer are joining us on Friday for some equitation.
Please come back.
Thank you, everybody. We are going to shut the doors here shortly, right after our word from our sponsors.
Every once in a while, something comes along that could be a game changer. Enter Unishippers, a trusted shipping source for more than 30 years. If you need a reliable, fast shipping source, turn to a specialist that knows the unique shipping needs of the equine reproductive marketplace. As an authorized UPS reseller, Unishippers offers unbeatable shipping value. Let Unishippers deliver for you. Call Mark and his team today.
Caring for your horses is easy when there's a safe choice for you. If you need one feed for the whole barn, there's a safe choice. If your horses need gastric support, there's a safe choice for them too. Some horses need lower starch and sugar. You guessed it, there's a safe choice for them. There's also a safe choice for mares and foals, for seniors, and for easy keepers. All these horses can gain a lot with science-backed nutrition from Nutrina. Yours could too. For every horse, there's always a safe choice.
This has been a Kona Cam production. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.